And then we also have actually this PSA 9 Marnie, which is dummy expensive. PSA 9 Marnie, which is dummy expensive.
PSA 9 Marnie, which is dummy expensive.
This thing's like $500 somehow.
Hey, what's up, Rock, Hop, and Skip Virgin gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good today on the art of the toilet. All the reasons I'm broke. Can't even afford real paper. Gotta use stationery mint for your bunghole. I gotta draw on that now. Exhibit whatever the heck we're on now. I drew Galarian Zigzagoon, my favorite of the regional variant Pokemon. This fool is hard to draw. This fool is ridiculously hard to draw. And on toilet paper, I had to do a couple takes on it for sure. Man, like the little features, all the little zigzags homies got on him, like all that, dude, it's a nightmare trying to draw a homie. So if I ever have to repeat this, I don't know what's going to happen. I think lightning just struck once, and there you go. That's a 1 of 1. It's never going to get recreated again. And like I said, probably going to still hand those out at Card Party. Appreciate everybody reaching out for them and all the support. It's great stuff. Anyway, I want to hop on to Reddit, the cesspool that is known as Reddit. The TCG section, of course, saw something that was really interesting, saw something that was a little reminiscent of things that I remember back in the day, and I'm sure everyone at some point can relate to this, especially if you have kids who collect Pokemon cards. Might be a little interesting something. I don't like being that person where you got to talk to your kids about like weird cards and values and all that stuff. But I mean, with all the crappy people nowadays, whether they be fucking, I don't know, adults out there with their weird little card shops, whether it be like bratty kids who know what they have, and they're trying to scam people out of it. Dude, I don't know. Happens all across the board. Not saying all kids or anything is bad, but I mean, hey, these are coming from somewhere. So right here, we got a nice little exhibit of some cards right here. Let's check it out for a second. Son got these from school. Are these real cards? I don't know anything about Pokemon cards. He's only 6 and just started collecting, so we're looking at that right there. Obviously, if they're trading, you know, they're 6 years old, they probably got them and traded from someone of like age, so probably another 6, 5, 7-year-old, something like that. We're looking right here. They never said exactly what they traded, but we got here a nice Licia Full Art and a beautiful Stevens Resolve. These are some cards. That Licia is top tier card right there. That's a big old card. I'm wondering what they trade for that. Oh, but then you look a little bit harder. First of all, like, let's not even address the fact these cards are fake. Spoiler alert, they are fake. These are not real cards whatsoever. These are faker than hairlines and titties in Hollywood, just straight up right here. These are the fakest ones I've seen. The shine's all wrong. There's no texture on them. I mean, the art's correct. The font's weird. It's just that it's a whole cesspool of just wrong cards and stuff like that. And there's where kids are down. So I don't know what they traded. Hopefully they also didn't trade real cards. Maybe they just have a bunch of proxy cards and they're trading them amongst each other. It's the proxy card trade market. You never know. But I'm willing to bet some real cards were traded and stuff like this. So back in the day, whenever I was growing up, I knew a couple kids who were also collecting Pokemon cards. I, of course, collect them as well. And certain kids were not allowed to bring their cards outside. I was not one of those kids. My parents were like, fuck it, do whatever the hell you want. Do whatever the hell you want with your cards. Bring them out, throw them as like fucking Frisbees. I don't give a shit. Do what you want. But there were some people's parents who did not let them bring out their cards. Like, I just had some friends like, yeah, sorry, I can't bring them out. My parents said no. And I never really understood that at the time. But now as I move forward in life and I'm going forward, like if I had a kid, I would not let their cards leave their fucking general vicinity unless A, they knew 100% they were trading for something that they absolutely wanted, and B, I was there to watch the whole thing as well. I'm not having my kids being taken advantage of by either crappy parents or kids who may or may not know any better about the cards they have. There's absolutely no way my kids' cards would be leaving. It's because of stuff like this. There are so many fake, weird proxy cards floating around there. This is nothing new. This has been going on for years and years. Even before the Pokemon boom, where it re-happened and all that stuff, there was fake cards going around. Those Poncho or those Pretends or those weird fake proxy Charizard cards, I mean, back in the day, it was just easier for people to move them too, because there was less knowledge of people to know if they were real or not. People were just like, oh, are these Pokemon cards now? I fucking guess this is what they are. It's a solid gold card. I remember gold cards from Burger King back in the day. Must be legit, right? And it was just so much easier for people. The comments are actually looking out for them. Hollow font and texturing all wrong. Hopefully, you didn't trade any good real cards for these. Use this as a learning example and go over how to spot fake Pokemon cards with them. It's a TCG player post. So, dude, there's so many different ways you can actually educate yourself on how to look and see if cards are real or fake or not. And honestly, if you're a parent, you're buying your kids cards and you're looking at these as something beyond anything of just them having a little bit of fun. I mean, these cards are worth money to people. They're worth a lot to a lot of people, especially with grading and certain chase cards selling for a good little bit. I don't like thinking about it like that, but that's how the fucking world works. It's how everybody looks at this stuff, and you might need to actually sit down with your kids and kind of figure out what the heck you're doing. It only takes a second. If you're looking at the set name, it's right on the front of a pack. You can literally hop on TCG Player and look up the cards and sort by rarity or value if you wish to do so, and figure out if your kid pulled something that's really good. And if so, I would educate them, be like, hey, this is a really good card. You should only get rid of this for another really good card in the sense of like this, because it's way too easy for people to just take advantage of kids nowadays. It's fucking terrible. But like I said, fake cards are nothing new. They're always something's been around. It's just a shame that people are willing to take advantage of stuff. But I want to talk about a fake card real quick. Dude, I don't know how this happens. Like, I was just looking at this too. I was looking for like a Cynthia Full Art. Tell me why. When you go on fucking eBay or anything like that and you type in Cynthia Full Art, the first thing you get is like some fake ass card with her lifting up her shirt wearing a fucking Lucario cosplay or something. Dude, what? How is this the first thing that pops up? Look, I'm no prude. I'm not against people expressing how they feel about certain things, okay? Within reason, of course. But if I'm looking up fucking a Cynthia Full Art card, this should not be the first thing that pops up, especially in a children's card game where... It's just so fucking weird. And there's 21 of you horny motherfuckers watching this too. 21. I'm not telling you who's selling this shit either. It's not happening. I've seen what happens when I show people something and be like, hey, don't be a little simpy McSimperton about that stuff. We got too many of y'all. Y'all can't be trusted. Fucking, you want to buy this stuff? You do it your damn self. You're not going to be doing it through me. Well, this is very common. These are very common fake cards. Whenever you look up any kind of female trainer in the shit, it's like, how many of you horny dudes, how many of you fucking no life touching fucks are looking at these cards? I like cards, man. I really do. I'm not against it. I understand. Look, Melanie, Team Melanie all the way, okay? But I don't want to see this whenever I'm searching up fucking full art cards. No one should be seeing this first fucking thing. Jesus Christ. And of course, as you can see right here, there's all kinds of fake cards. People were doing it with Amazing Rares for a little bit. There's always like little discrepancies with them too. Sometimes they actually forget things. Sometimes the font's wrong. Sometimes hollowing doesn't go around places. You can see with this Jirachi, you can see instances of differences. It never really hurts as someone who is looking after your kids or, you know, getting into the hobby, or if you don't even have kids, if you yourself are new to the hobby, it doesn't hurt to educate yourself with these cards, because we got some terrible motherfuckers in this hobby. We got some people who will fucking give you fake 5-cent cards to make $500 off your ass, especially if you don't know any better. And they'll blame it on you. They'll be like, his fault for not doing any research. It's their fault for doing that stuff. Well, it's your fault too for being a fucking sleaze bag. You also have a hand in that as well. You knowingly took advantage of people if you're doing that stuff as well. And I'm not saying kids or like parents and anything, like across the board, that's the way. But I genuinely would not be surprised if that was the case, especially with people getting kids involved, with clearing shelves, with doing weird little scammy scummy stuff, with promoting things that just aren't super community friendly. It's something that happens. People are getting kids involved as well, and unfortunately that's just something that happens with the fucking card space. And until someone steps in and says, yeah, probably shouldn't do that shit, it's just going to happen. So educate yourself, look after yourself, look after your cards. This is money after all we're talking about here, especially with how the fuck boys are milking that stuff. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin. See you later. Please stop with that full art trainer shit, by the way. I don't need to explain to Virginia why there's a fucking half-naked Clara when I'm looking for Clara full art cards.